Marcus Washington had built everything from nothing. His hardware store, Washington & Sons, stood proudly on the corner of Martin Luther King Boulevard for 15 years. The blue-painted storefront with golden letters represented 3 generations of dreams finally realized. It was 2:47 a.m. when the first brick crashed through the window. Marcus lived in the apartment above his store. The shattering glass jolted him awake. He grabbed his phone and rushed to the window, his heart hammering in his chest. Below, he saw 2 police cruisers parked at odd angles, their lights off. 4 officers stood on the sidewalk, their faces illuminated by the streetlight. "Please, no," Marcus whispered, his breath fogging the window. He watched in horror as one officer casually tossed something through the broken window. Seconds later, orange flames erupted inside his store. The fire spread with terrifying speed, consuming the shelves he'd built with his own hands, the inventory he'd saved for months to purchase, the photos of his father and grandfather that hung behind the counter. Marcus grabbed his phone with trembling hands and called 911. 911, what's your emergency? My store, Washington & Sons on MLK Boulevard, it's on fire. The police, his voice cracked. The police set it on fire. There was a pause. Sir, did you say the police? Yes. They're standing outside right now, just watching it burn. Sir, I'm going to need you to calm down. Are you sure about what you're saying? Marcus felt tears streaming down his face as he watched decades of work disappear into smoke. I'm watching them. Please, send someone. Units are already en route to the fire, sir. Stay inside and stay safe. The line went dead. Marcus ran downstairs, but the smoke was already too thick. He stumbled back, coughing violently, and retreated to his apartment. He stood at the window, recording everything on his phone. The officers below weren't panicked or concerned. One of them was laughing, actually laughing, pointing at the flames and saying something to his partner. When the fire trucks finally arrived 20 minutes later, there was nothing left to save. The officers had dispersed by then, their cruisers gone as if they'd never been there. Marcus came down to the street, covered in soot, his eyes red from smoke and tears. My store, he kept repeating. They burned my store. The fire chief, a white man in his 50s, put a hand on Marcus's shoulder. I'm sorry, son. Do you know how it started? The police. I saw them. I have it on video. The fire chief's expression changed, his sympathy replaced by something harder to read. That's a serious accusation, Mr. Washington. Are you certain? I recorded it. Look. Marcus fumbled with his phone, his hands shaking so badly he could barely unlock it. But when he opened his camera roll, his stomach dropped. The video was dark, too dark. You could see flames, hear voices, but the faces weren't clear. The cruiser's lights had been off. The uniforms blended into the darkness. I saw them, Marcus insisted. 4 officers. 2 cars. Mr. Washington, you've been through a trauma. Sometimes in situations like these, our minds, I know what I saw. The investigation was swift and conclusive, accidental fire, cause unknown, possibly electrical. Marcus's insurance claim was denied. There was evidence of overloaded circuits and code violations he'd never been cited for before. The police department issued a statement expressing sympathy but denying any involvement. No officers had been in that area at that time. According to their records, Marcus tried to fight. He went to the local newspaper, but they wouldn't run the story without corroborating evidence. He went to lawyers, but without clear video evidence, they said he had no case. He went to civil rights organizations, and while they believed him, they had limited resources and dozens of similar cases. The community rallied around him. His neighbors organized fundraisers, and local churches collected donations. The black community on MLK Boulevard knew Marcus was telling the truth. They'd seen this pattern before, these accidents that happened to black businesses that were thriving a little too well in changing neighborhoods. Within 6 months, a chain pharmacy bought the lot where Washington & Sons had stood. The new building was sleek and modern, completely out of character with the rest of the block. Marcus stood across the street the day it opened, watching white customers stream in and out. An older black woman, Mrs. Patterson, who'd been buying supplies from his family for 40 years, stood beside him. They wanted you gone, she said simply. You were proof that we could build something lasting. They couldn't have that. Marcus nodded, too empty to cry anymore. What do I do now? Mrs. Patterson squeezed his hand. What we've always done, baby. We survive. We rebuild. Maybe not here, maybe not now, but we don't let them erase us. But Marcus couldn't rebuild. His savings were gone, his credit ruined by the denied insurance claim. His father's legacy, his grandfather's dream, all of it reduced to ash and bitter memories. He found work at a warehouse across town, stacking boxes for minimum wage. Sometimes, late at night, he still saw those officers laughing at the flames. He heard the casual cruelty in their voices, saw the calculated malice in their eyes. And he knew that somewhere, they were still wearing their badges, still drawing their paychecks, still protected by a system that had been designed to protect them from people like him. The story of Washington & Sons became a cautionary tale in the neighborhood, whispered among black business owners, don't get too successful. Don't stand out. Don't forget that everything you build can be taken away in a single night by those who are sworn to protect and serve. Marcus Washington had believed in justice, in hard work, in the American dream. Now he believed in survival. And on the darkest nights, he wondered if that was exactly what they wanted. Authors note, this story reflects the painful reality of systemic racism and the abuse of power that many Black Americans have faced throughout history and continue to face today. While this particular narrative is fictional, it echoes countless real experiences of Black business owners who have seen their life's work destroyed by those who should have protected them.